of the Choctaw Diné Navajo Nation, Indigenous Medicine Diagnostician and Practitioner by Tribal Initiation and Training. And she's here to inspire us with some co-creative solutions. So give a big hand for Patricia. I'll hold it for you.
Hey, I'm all for dancing. I've been dancing 47 years.
Yeah!
Thank you to the Walla Walla Nation. The original people of this land. My understanding of occupy is occupation, and that means right livelihood. And right livelihood means constructive and life-affirming choices. Does it? Is that what it means? Yes? No?
Yes!
Constructive and life-affirming choices. Occupy, occupation, right livelihood. My other understanding is you people are saying it's not okay to be violated. One of the first thing I notice is this American flag, and it's turned upside down. And the other thing I notice, after AIM sang the AIM songs, all the men in uniform left this park. Did you notice? They've been herding us around for how many 100 years? We're exile in our own homeland. So what I want to say about this flag first is that I understand that it is upside down because that means that the country is in danger and in peril.
Yes, ma'am!
Humanity is in peril. The earth, the planet, is in peril. I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother. And I came to inspire you to look through another lens, a tribal lens, a sacred language lens. Because Einstein, he said, you can't solve the problem with the same thinking that caused the problem, right? Is that what is called insanity? I greet you, each and everyone. I greet you as my relative. And I'm going to define the word indigenous for you. It does not mean wild, heathen, savage, primitive. It means, indigenous means, and I want to know how many of you, did you already know this, what I'm going to say to you right now? Did you know that your body is made of Mother Earth? Did you know that you're made of so many percent water? How much percent? A lot of water. Did you know that your fire is your temperature? Did you know that this air is the Holy Creator's breath? And I know there's one person that can understand what I'm going to say, because I'm going to begin to switch back and forth between English and Navajo. And we're calling this Holy Creator's breath Nishtiyan. The in-breath and the out-breath, like that. So earth, water, fire, and air is indigenous people steward the earth for centuries and generation after generation after generation. Right? So why are the people afraid of the indigenous people all over the world, that they have to genocide us? And then after genocide us, and then that's called genocide and plunder. And then plunder means murder and theft. And then it means that to take away, to create a parasite system, and thereafter say, you owe me taxes, late fee, penalty, all this kind of fee you owe me. That's a parasite system. So this parasite system, and then you know what? It destroys its host. And when it destroys its host, it destroys itself. Yes? No? That's how serious it is that somebody put this flag upside down. Our flag, the American Indian flag, technically, American Indian in this country, that's our name, American Indian. We're the most federally legislated people of the whole earth. And this flag, what it really means, we call it Hayolkal Diyin. Hayolkal Diyin means, it's talking about that morning dawn, that holy person, the morning sunrise, the indigo, the blue, the dark, the gold, silver lining into eternity, and the morning star, and the red, that sun coming up. You never seen that day. It's a new day, it's a new beginning, it's a new life, it's a new generation, it's a new age, like that, the end of the cycle. This end of this cycle. That is our flag in nature. Do you get it? Is it beautiful? Yeah. That's every indigenous person in the whole world. That's our flag. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. And that's why we say that in our language. When I say, Yad eh, shik eh, shidana, Yad eh, I'm collecting all that's divine and good and beautiful and true. Everything in the universe, Yad eh, what I'm going to speak right here. Isn't that beautiful? So, I want to see how many indigenous people are here that has their body as earth, water, fire, and air. Wow. Well, who's the rest of you then? Do you even get it what I'm telling you? Who doesn't want to claim their inherent spiritual identity as the sacred self, each and every one of us, the sacred self, in our sacred place in the universe. And that's how we have two words in the Navajo Dene language, saying, I'm a holy and precious child of a creator. My ancestors are the holy people. And then that means that applies to each and every one of us. You can't be outside of it, and you cannot be separate from it. We call that Hojo. So are you beginning to see through a different lens, to understand yourself on this, in harmony and balance on this Mother Earth and Father Sky? Yes or no? Because we have words that describe people who use their 5 senses as a weapon against themselves and others. It's an esoteric word, and I'm not going to say it, but we have a slang word that's in common use. It sounds like this, Belagana. That's what it means to use your five senses as a weapon against yourself and others. It's the military oath. It's enemy creation. The war inside is the war out there. And I want to speak to AIM before they leave too. I want to tell you what AIM is. I know that after Wounded Knee, that every city had a riot unit just to deal with AIM. And I noticed they left after they finished singing. What is AIM? Who is AIM? I know I was dancing around in the powwow at 16 when I met Russell Means. He's still my friend today. And my brothers and all of us, when we were young, we already noticed. We already saw. We saw this lie. The lie is that a group of people has to win and another group has to lose. And we have to agree to lose and pay to lose. Who's that? People of color and women historically. So, the psychopath has no conscience, fallen into evil. And the sociopath still has conscience. So we have a choice. We call it hocho, like that. Destructive and death-producing choices, and constructive and life-affirming choices. And so what AIM stands for is American Indian Movement. Mobilization, motivation. We're the people that said, no, I refuse to be recruited to participate in my own demise. No, I refuse to recruit the young people in the next generation to participate in their own demise. Is that what I understand Occupy is?
Yes, ma'am!
Yeah. This is time of awakening the conscience, and I forgot to time myself. I don't wear a watch, but I wore one today. Somebody gave it to me just for this reason. Then I forgot to look at it. So today we have people educating us from different perspectives, from different angle. And I said the lens that I want you to see through is a tribal language, because this tribal language is from the Navajo Nation. I'm two different tribes, Choctaw and Navajo, and my parents met in Haskell Indian School, boarding school in Lawrence, Kansas, and my father brought my mother to Rakoncay, to his birthplace, and then I relocated from Navajo Nation to Seattle 10 years ago. I was working for the Natural Resources, Division of Natural Resources, Navajo Nation. The last job I had was a planner and a grant writer, health planner and grant writer, and we were cleaning up abandoned listen to what I said, abandoned mines. I'll tell you why that slipped out. Abandoned coal mines, abandoned uranium trailing. Now I'll tell you why that slipped out. I was thinking, when I heard all these other people spoke before me this morning, I was thinking, oh yeah, Jared Diamond, he wrote this book. And he said, men throughout history, he said 4 things, but I can't remember number 4. Maybe you can remember it yourself. He said they make babies, they make war, and then they make statue to themselves. So in this time, he said it, I didn't say it. I just read his book. In this time of awakening the conscience and breaking silence, not only are women all over the world breaking silence to this hierarchy and patriarchy, which is domination and submission, but also people all over the world are waking up to their conscience in order to say what we say yes and no to. So why is it for so long that we have said yes to what's destructive and death producing, and we said no to what is life, constructive and life affirming? That was my question from my childhood to this day. Why is it like that? What happened? I'm going to tell you what I learned. This is what I learned. They put me on the program, and I said, I wonder what they're going to call me, because I can do a lot of different things. I've traveled to 8 different countries. And this dilemma that we're in right now, why is it? Why is it that we know how to destroy? How do people know how to destroy, but they cannot relate to one another and to help one another as we did in our clan system? I grew up in a clan system. It has a beautiful, beautiful name. I would be here for a month to tell you what it means. That phrase right there, how beautiful and inspiring it is. So, what is behind it? I found out these English words that I can translate to you. The intent to destroy. I heard that it belongs to Baal, B-A-A-L, the intent to destroy. To use our thinking for what it's not for, that is the criminal mind. We're not using the sacred self-intellect. We're using the criminal mind. Baal is the intent to destroy. And the right hand is Lucifer. Who's Lucifer? It's using technology and information with Aram and brute force to create the satanic human being. Do you understand that?
Yes.
It's very esoteric language, but that is the root cause, the way I understand it in the English language. Because us, we call ourselves, we have beautiful spiritual name. We call ourselves which is Earth Surface People. Belashlai, 5-finger people. What does that mean? Humane, humane with E. That's what it means. That's who we are. The precious child of Creator, humane being. So we need to restore. I do what's called wellness restoration. What is that? Harmony and balance between the genders and so on. We have now animosity and aggression from the male and animosity and aggression from the female, when in fact what is really inside of us, it's like a figure 8, sunrise and sunset. There's nothing that's polarizing in nature. Nothing is polarizing into adversary and conflict in nature. It's all in harmony, perfect harmony and balance. So the male we had, Nabahi, is the male he is the protector provider. He is not the perpetrator and the predator in the home, in the community, or in the government. So in that way, there are 2 things. Gender rights and health care is fundamental. There's no argument, there's no fight, there's no discussion about it. It's fundamental, right? Right? Everybody's on siesta. Fundamental rights. What's there to fight about? Gender right, gender equality and health care. See? So let's start with the female. We're saying spiritually, I'm looking around to see who's going to understand this. It's very beautiful. Born for water. Every child is born through the water. Like that. That means the life giver and nurturer. And that's the feminine, divine feminine. So then the male is a protector provider. We had Nabahi, men who took care of the outside of territory. We didn't have any conquest and gladiator concept. No conquest or gladiator concept. The male is the protector provider. The men who took care of the outside territory, no power over. And then protector provider. The provider then is like hunters who take care of the inside of the territory. So this is called, very simple, it's a power within to have power with others. Power within from Creator, power within to have power with. Otherwise, it's the betrayal story. So the betrayal story is what? This country was taken with alcohol, the sword, the gun, the Bible, what else? Deceit and treachery. And that's still going on today. The alcohol is a weapon of mass destruction to our people. So now there's another slavery. They're putting them in the prison, incarcerating, and then they commodify them and make interest and money off of them like livestock. That's what a reservation is. I wish I could fully tell you what is a reservation. That your taxes is paid for it, for this human livestock for that destruct people in your own backyard. So I have lots to say, and I haven't looked at my watch here. But I know that I got some information across to you from a tribal lens about how it is that we speak. Primitive means that looks like that we're in a deficient self-image, and only the ones who have an assumption of superiority and who have a privilege and entitlement then are the only ones that can remediate us to some end state of enlightenment or civilization. That is what we're destroying the planet with, that one. Please get it, that one. That is a root cause that keeps us out of balance, totally. And I told many Occupy in Seattle and in Olympia, I told Occupy, I said, in reality, it hasn't changed zero to my family and my relatives back on the Navajo Nation or in Choctaw country. Nothing, because you're paying the taxes to maintain that federal money laundry system, Indian reservation, military complex, the foreign aid, social services, and there's one more of these 5 federal money laundry systems. Let's see, this is Indian reservation, foreign aid, military, social services, prison system. Yeah, those are all using people as a human livestock. So I don't think any of you are aware of that, and yet you know what? We are still here. You've been talking for how many thousands and generations of years, but we're considered conquered people. So thank you for giving us a few minutes to speak our truth, to say to you, we're still here. We're still smiling. We're still dancing. We're still beautiful people. We still have our identity, our spiritual identity. We still have our language. And most of all, come from authentic medicine people. Authenticity, truth teller, levelers, truth tellers have authority. And that authority we have comes from authenticity. Because we don't have to defend truth. Defend means attack, retaliate, revenge, attack, retaliate, revenge for century after century after century. So you don't have to defend truth. What they're talking about is your freedom to be addicted to greed. That's really what they're saying in this justifying the war. You have to justify lies, but you don't have to justify the truth. Truth is our only real power, and it's our protection. So the last 4 things I want to say is a values clarification to you, to say that the fundamental evil in the world is this win-lose. It looks like this. You lose, I win, winner take all. It's got this fist. You can't give a gift and you can't receive a gift right here. When you do that, that's intimidation, aggression, like that. See, you do that and that. So I'm going to ask you, when I leave this stage, when you go in your home, in your personal life, your work, your professional life, your community life, to ask you what you're going to say yes and no to. You need to give up this win-lose. It's morally, ethically wrong. And so is interest. And there's no such thing as debt. Debt it doesn't exist. It's insanity. Anything morally, ethically wrong cannot be reformed, but it can be reframed. And each and every one of you, I'm asking you to make that decision in your own brain. It's not out there. So nobody's going to do it for you or to you, or it's not out there. No change happens from the outside in. All healing happens from the inside out. That's called curing, not coping. And curing means make correction. Say, Creator, I made a mistake. And this is the mistake I made, and this is how I'm going to correct it. And then you put it into action. It doesn't take, people say, oh, it takes a long time. We have to strive and overcome and suffer. No. That's your Western theorists, your Western philosophers with their hero's journey that said chaos and suffering is good for you. No, the Buddha said pain and suffering is not a spiritual way of life. So you got to hear. I wish I could say a lot more in the Navajo language, but I'm going to give you an idea what it sounds like before I leave the stage, because it was used in the World War II. And when it was used in World War II, they call it code talkers. No, our language is not a code, because we do not have any word for, there's no such thing as mental illness. And there also is no such thing as bombs and guns and wars. And there's no way in the Navajo language that you can say about this flag. You cannot say, put your hand on your heart and say bombs bursting in air and the flag was still there. It's impossible. It's antithetical. You cannot say it in the Navajo language. I'm going to tell you what they call a submarine and what they call a bomb. They say, a yenge. It's an organic egg. How about that? And the submarine is big fish and little fish. So I see on the corner of my eye that it's a mental tapping on my shoulder that my time is up. And the last I want to say is Ahiha Shija Shata Diyin Ha Ashada Ah Nahokons Ehozendo and Sakes Nahat Abatil do Hojojik Inase Hassan Hojo Nasha Hojo Nasha Dole Hojo Nasli Hojo Nahaskli Hojo Nasli Hojo Nahaskli, in goodness and beauty and truth and love and peace and joy. We are all related.